All right, we're gonna get started in about a minute. All right, let's get started. It's 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock on Tuesday, September 29th. We are coming to the end of an excellent trading month. My name is Derrick Oldensmith. I'm an associated member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker dealer and member of FINRA SIPC. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. Quick position disclosure, I have no shorts on right now at all. I wouldn't say that I'm particularly heavy on the long side of the market. A few of these names here are trades that were initiated either today or yesterday or the day before yesterday. It's been an excellent trading market environment this month. I've been really excited for September. I've been doing really well. The team has been doing really well, and I am excited to talk to everybody about that today. Quick, the short story about me. I am the senior trader and registered principal at T3 Trading Group. I've been with T3 in one capacity or another since 2010. T3 Trading Group technically since 2011. I started with the firm as an entry-level trader. I was an entry-level trader working at basically minimum capital size when I first got started, and I've been with the firm for over 10 years now. And overall, honestly, things have gone really well. I got the opportunity initially to start my own trading desk back in 2013. That group has really grown over the course of the last 7 years to, I think I'm managing over 100 traders now at this point. The main way that I was able to really develop my group to this size over time is because I created a lot of infrastructure for the training and development of the traders that I work with. So there's optional training programs when people first start, morning meeting, afternoon meeting, virtual trading floor, all this really good stuff that I'm going to talk about in more detail today. So overall, it's been a great experience here at T3, and happy to share my experience as a trader with all of you. If anyone wants to get in touch with me and talk about markets, trading, T3 Trading Group, being a professional trader with us, being a retail trader with us, or anything, here's my email address. Reach out, and I'm always happy to chat. All right, let's go to the charts. Let's talk about what I love talking about, which is markets. I could talk about markets all day. So we spend a lot of time every day talking about strategy, particularly in the morning meeting. One of the things that I really focus on doing on a day-to-day basis is identifying what our broad strategical approach to the trading session should be based on all of the new information that has occurred overnight. How are we set to gap this morning? What did the Asian European markets do? What's the major news overnight? Where are we as far as the big picture technicals? So we always start, even if you're purely a day trader, you have to start big picture. The correlation between individual equities and the market as a whole is dramatically high. I don't care what time frame of a trader you are. You have to be a student of the market on multiple time frames. You really need to know what's going on. I think that a lot of retail investors, for lack of a better term, the Robinhood class, that have basically just been buying call options since March and have done really well for themselves, have actually struggled a bit here in September. Just because the market hasn't gone straight up. We've had a really decent sized market correction, 10 to 15% depending on the industry that you're looking at, from highs to lows. For me as a professional trader, it's the opposite. This September trading environment is a dream to me compared to what we dealt with in July and August. July and August, especially August, most of it was just this straight up grind. We would often gap up and go sideways. Very tight trading sessions from a range perspective, not a lot of volatility. Then into the end of August and beginning of September, the market really went parabolic. We noticed a lot of issues under the hood for the market, to use that as an expression, of problems. First of all, this parabolic nature of this move is unsustainable. Markets can't just continue to go up and up and up at a continuing accelerated pace, though they can do it for a good period of time. Breadth was becoming terrible. We started seeing a VIX divergence, which is also a really important signal around, I think it was August 26th, where the VIX started going up with the market on a big picture. I've only really seen that happen a couple of times in my entire trading career. It usually doesn't work out well for the market. And then we peaked here in the beginning of September. I was technically on vacation here in the beginning of September, but I ended up having to trade every day because how could you not when you have price action like that? And this month has been excellent. Every day we've been able to come in, again, starting with big picture strategy in our morning meetings. Every day we've been able to come in with that big picture strategy and really figure out, based on how we're gapping, based on what the new news is, how are the market participants positioned for this gap. We've been able to be really on point as far as the market movements go. Being net short here on the way down, flipping to net long into this move up, flipping back to net short on the way down, coming into the support, doing it once again. even here was a little bit tricky on this day. If you remember, this was the Fed day. Initially, they pushed us up a little bit more. I really didn't want the market to get above 342.50, but it did. Stayed net short into that. Got paid really well into this down move. Once again, extension to the downside, into support. 320 had been my big target for a break of 330. So 330 was kind of a support area here. On this day even, you can't see it after hours. We traded all the way down to 330 when the AstraZeneca news came out that they were halting their vaccine trials, which are now back on. So we spent all this time consolidating here in front of this 330, broke down. Next support area was the area between 320 and 319 that we spoke about. Extended to the downside, flipped long, caught this couple day move, short again, and then here I got basically 100% long, and now I've really been 100% long into these few days, but just booking profit on those longs into this up move. So again, these big gaps, big ranges, big volatility, all of that is tremendous. It's exactly what you want as a professional trader. It's been an excellent month. I've made money short, I've made money long. And every day we've been able to come in with a strategy on how to handle that market on a day-to-day basis, what our expectations should be, what we need to see from the market in order for things to, work out. And honestly, look, I am not always right as a trader. No one is. But this month I've just been really on point as far as those movements go. And then we came into yesterday and today. And for the first time really this entire month, I have no conviction in this market, in this area right here. This was a really solid bounce back over these 3 days into this upper band of equilibrium, which is this 21 EMA area. We broke this pivot. A lot of people wanted to see this be the next lower high in this downtrend, in this descending channel that you could draw here, but we actually broke up above that. So is the downtrend, the short-term downtrend for September, is it breaking? Is it just creating a different lower high versus here into this area, to that equilibrium area, and then going to continue lower? Are we going to go sideways in this area? I really don't know. And one of my big themes that I really emphasize to the traders that I work with is you need to know when you have an advantage in the market and when you don't. It's huge. If you have an advantage in the market, you gotta push it. And honestly, this entire month I felt like every day I've had an advantage in one way or another, something I could focus on. The entire market's been in play until these last couple trading sessions. These last couple trading sessions, I'm seeing us in this 330 area. I know that bears need to bring this market back down and close this market below 331. They totally failed to do that yesterday. Yesterday was a Jewish holiday, so volume was much lower. Maybe that has something to do with it. Bears are trying a little bit harder today as we speak to pull this market down. But even today, look at the intraday price action. So this is yesterday. Huge gap up. Here's my 5-minute chart. Huge gap up yesterday. Flatlined all day. Technically, that's bullish. Time correcting this upside common gap is very bullish. The beginning of today, same thing. We just continued this sideways trend. There's nothing to do here in this sideways price action, and only now has the rug pulled out a little bit. We started to correct a little bit lower. But is that going to lead to the market closing below 331 today, which I think is what bears need to see? I really don't know. So I came in today looking at this market, and I said, look, I honestly think it's a coin flip. I won't be surprised at all if we go lower from here. If we make a new lower high, we get below 331, bears regain control, and they try to bring us back down to 320. I won't be surprised at all if we go higher here. Shorts have increased their percentage in the market as the market here has kind of come down. There's the potential of those shorts getting squeezed out as we break up further. Maybe we work our way back up to this 342 area that's really important resistance. We're right smack dab in the middle, by the way, of our really important downside support and our really important upside resistance. We're right in the middle of it, right? 332. We're 12 bucks away from the downside, and if the upside is really this 343, we are $11 away from that upside. So we are right in the middle, and we're also right in this equilibrium area, right between the 8 and 21 EMA. I think it's very hard to have conviction. We could go down, we could go up, or honestly, we could just go sideways and chop around here and frustrate people a little bit. None of those things would surprise me. So if that is my analysis on the market coming into today's trading session, what do I do? Well, the answer is not much. When you have an advantage, and this is one of the keys to the business, if the market is providing you an advantage, you have got to push it. Trade more, get heavier, go after it. And if you're wrong, you're wrong. You lose your risk, right? Risk management is always the most important part about the business. And when you don't have an advantage, like I have felt the last couple of days, then guess what? Don't do much. Because if you try to push it on a day like today or a day like yesterday, when you really aren't seeing it, you aren't feeling it, the market technicals are really not giving you an advantage, all that you're going to do is hurt yourself. All you're going to do is churn stock. So what I said to my team this morning was basically that. And when I'm feeling uncertain about the market as a whole, this is the beauty about it being an equity trader. I have a realm of 5,000 stocks that are listed on the New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, and Amex, something in that range. Even if the market to me is out of play, there will almost always be certain individual equities that I could focus on to potentially make money. And that's what we did today. So market, I'm really feeling uncertain, but guess what? My team, it really wasn't me. My team brought to the table some excellent ideas today of potential equities that might trade not with the market that we could focus on. So Beyond Meat being one. So Beyond Meat got news this morning. The fact that it got news is going to lessen its correlation to the market. 160 is an important upside number. When we were talking about Beyond in the morning meeting, I think it was trading at about 161, 162. So that is a potential breakaway gap. That's what we call that. Breakaway gaps tend to lead to gaps and go situations. They tend to not get filled. So we initially were talking about buying above 160 wherever it opens with an out at 160. But by the time the market actually opened, the opening price on the day today is exactly 160. So that makes the trade there a little bit difficult as far as the execution goes, as far as knowing what your stop loss should be. So, I was able to get involved basically right at the open at a price a little bit below 160, and I basically used that the initial pivot low of 159.15, the low of the day, is my out. So you can see here's my initial purchase right here in the beginning of the day, a little bit below 160. Worked out really well, just mainly booking profit all the way up, and then kind of just continuing to trade this a little bit actively, book some profit here into that last move up to 169 on kind of some stock that I reloaded, and now I'm kind of just watching it. I'm in a scenario, and these are the scenarios that I love to be in with these names. I've got a little bit of a core position that I'm really trying to hold to see if this thing can continue. It's a little bit extended on the daily chart, which is always concerning, but I'm in a win-win scenario. I'm in a scenario right now with this Beyond Meat where either I'm going to make money or I'm going to make a lot of money. And that's what I'm talking to my team about all the time. What I'm consistently trying to do as a trader is put myself into win-win scenarios. Either I'm going to make money in this position, or I'm going to make a lot of money in this position. That is exactly what I'm doing. So NEO in the news makes it independent from the market. I don't have good conviction on the market. I can focus on Beyond Meat. The next one I'm talking about is NEO. NEO is another one. Not my idea. This was brought to me by my team. I've got an excellent team of traders that I have the privilege of working with on a day-to-day basis in the ProDesk virtual trading floor room that I'm running through T3 Live. The VTF room is primarily composed of the professional traders that I work with on a day-to-day basis. It's an awesome community. This is another one, NEO. We've been paying attention to this NEO for a while. It's funny. I don't know if I've ever been long this name before. I have traded this name very consistently over the course of my career to the short side. I always kind of thought that they were I don't know what the right term would be, kind of a BS company. And I've traded this really well and really consistently to the short side on several occasions, really up in this area. I was shorting it a lot and did pretty well with it. But so the way I describe my trading, to take a little step back, I describe myself as about 85% technical as a trader and 15% fundamental. I do pay attention to the fundamental story, what I call qualitative fundamentals for the names that I'm involved in. And guess what? The story behind NIO has changed. NIO is a Chinese company, an electric car manufacturer, similar to what Tesla does, but obviously a very different company. And the last time I was in China, I've been to China a number of times, I remember noting, well, there's a lot of Teslas on the road here, but there is not a single NIO. And that just kind of added to my thesis of honestly really not liking this company. If the Chinese people that I'm seeing around me in China are all driving Teslas and there's not a single NIO around, what does that mean for the stock, right? So like I said, I always kind of thought that they were a bit of a BS company, but now my friends have told me more recently, and this is obviously anecdotal, that the Chinese government, which is key to conducting business in China, has become much more interested in NIO and helping NIO to succeed, and that they're starting to see their cars on the roads and they're starting to see their dealerships pop up more, and it's becoming a real company. And you can see that here in the technicals, right? Even though I was able to make some good money to the short side on NIO in this area, and this was a really big pull-in from almost 1650 down to below 11 in this pullback here, guess what? It's still in the long run built out a wedge type pattern that broke up to the upside and gave a huge move. And guess what? Now it's building another wedge type pattern, bullish wedge type pattern. I know the qualitative fundamentals have started to change, and the name is looking set up to go if it can really ever start clearing above this $20 area, which it has struggled to do so even so far as today. So this name was put on our radar early today as a name that might trade independently to the market. So something I can focus on if I'm not concerned about, if I am concerned about the market. So, I started to kind of buy this position here initially, booked a little bit of profit, added to it. Out on the day for me was really going to be the low of the day. If it, broke the low of the day, I know that I was wrong. It was a little nerve-wracking here into this area because it couldn't go. It seemed like there was a really heavy institutional seller coming in and dumping stock into the $19 area. I really didn't like that, but it never stopped me out. I'm a big believer in, I tell my traders all the time, buy the ticket, take the ride. If you put the trade on, you put the risk on, see it through. And that's exactly what happened. This thing broke out, and then you can just see, this is all just profit taking all the way up in this name, and then trading it back and forth a little bit more lightly in this area. So this is beautiful, great little volume pattern here. You see the volume declining into this as this pattern builds. And then honestly, this really could have broken in either direction here at this point. Either that seller was too strong and the people who bought like myself end up selling stock and getting pushed out and creates a violent downside move, or the opposite, which is actually what occurred. It breaks to the upside, the seller's gone, demand swells, volume comes in, and you get continuation. So, that trade worked out really well as well. So that's, two names today that are trading independently to the market, where on a day where I'm a little uncertain about what the market can do, I can focus on these names and they're paying pretty well. A couple other positions I've gotten in recently that I can talk about is Lennar. So again, I have a position in this currently. I got in the position yesterday. I have always hated trading the home builder stocks. I have always found that they are some of the most difficult stocks to trade. The intraday, the day trading on them is really, really tough generally. And honestly, I really, for the most part, avoid them. But again, understanding that qualitative fundamental thesis, when you understand, what's going on with housing right now. I did a good amount of research over the weekend, learning about the demographic shifts. I'm in my mid-30s now. But a lot of folks who are in their 30s are moving out of the cities. They're buying homes in the suburbs. I'm in beautiful Idaho right now. I'm in Victor, Idaho. It's gorgeous here. There is construction of new homes going on all around me in this area. Again, that's just anecdotal evidence that I like to pay attention to. I tell my traders all the time, pay attention to the world around you. Because yeah, it's anecdotal evidence, but it provides you a lot of clues and a lot of hints of things that you can be looking at and applying into the market. You see the trends around you as they develop in real time. And you know, I've been traveling all around the country this year since COVID hit. It's actually been an incredible experience despite you know, everything that's happened, and you know, it's really been really bad for the nation as a whole, and it's terrible, and you know, people have died from this virus. But for me, my viewpoint has really been, you can't choose the cards that you're dealt, but you can choose how you want to play them, right? So unfortunately, I can't do anything about curing the virus or anything like that, but I can choose to get out of New York City and trade remotely from all around the country and see different parts of the country that I never would have had the opportunity to see before. Anyway, here I am in Victor, Idaho. There's a lot of construction going on around me. You've got the millennial generation is really starting to come into their family development years, which, you know, has moved back a little bit. I mean, I'm 35. I just got married a year ago. I just celebrated my 1-year anniversary a year ago. But that's becoming more normal, right? Is for people to go into their 30s before they start really doing household formation. And all of those people are now looking to buy homes, and for the most part, they're not doing it in the cities. I love Manhattan. I've lived in Manhattan since 2004. It's my city. I love it there. It's just not my city right now. And I hope it heals itself, and I hope it gets better soon so I can get back there. But, you know, again, a lot of people buying homes. There's a lot of new construction going on. So that's my qualitative thesis. Oh, and the interest rates, right? The mortgage rates are insane. What are they, like 2 to 3%, depending on, you know, what mortgage you're getting? It's absolutely incredible. So you can see that in the stock. And now it has this beautiful formation that it's kind of built here, has solid resistance at 80, had a little inside day here on Friday. So I was able to get involved in it yesterday above that inside day. It made this kind of little, not so great pattern here on the 5-minute chart, but I started to build into a position into it. And then it went, and it closed really well, and it closed near that 80 resistance. It actually broke that 80 resistance, but failed again today. So it shows that the name needs more time. But again, what I emphasize to my traders, put yourself in these win-win scenarios. What a lot of non-professional traders, I mean, honestly, even some professional traders, if they're newer and they're learning, what a lot of retail investors do, retail traders do, is they put themselves in lose-lose scenarios. They buy a stock because they like it. The position goes against them. They have no risk management game plan in place. And at a certain point, they hope, which is a 4-letter word in trading, they hope that the position gets back to where they bought it so they can get out for no loss. That is a lose-lose situation. Either you lose money or you make no money, but you have to deal with the stress and the time and the aggravation of having a position against you for however long. It's a lose-lose situation. What a good professional trader should do, what I emphasize to my team, is put yourself in win-win situations. When you first press the button, when I first bought Beyond today, or I first bought Neo today, or I first bought Nikola today, I actually bought a little Nikola, even though that name scares the heck out of me. When I first bought any of those stocks today, there's a chance that I would lose money. There was a chance that I just bought the absolute top and that position goes against me. Well, guess what? I know exactly how much I stand to lose. I know where my stop loss is. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. That is the opportunity cost to put myself into these positions that I really liked. And in this case, have all happened to work out pretty well so far on the day. But again, I could lose money, and I'm fine with that. What I don't have is unlimited risk by having, you know, no game plan for if this position is not working out for me. And now if that position does work out for me, I don't just exit that position just because I'm up $100 in it or whatever your number is. I want to maximize my winner. I put myself again in these win-win scenarios. So now what's the deal with Lennar? Lennar here, if I got in this area, I booked profit in it yesterday. Today I haven't traded a single share of it, but I still have some of my position from yesterday that I'm giving back to, probably yesterday's low, which is like my original out on the trade. So my worst case scenario is this thing totally fails today, market crashes, it comes all the way down, I get stopped out of my position, and I make a little bit of money in it. I would still make a little bit of money in it because I booked enough into this up move that unless there's overnight news and this thing really gaps down significantly past my out, there's basically no way I could lose money in it. So that's my worst case scenario. My worst case scenario in Lennar is I make money. My best case scenario is it breaks out for $80. The home building trend continues. This name trends its way up to $100. And what started out as a relatively, small risk trade, I don't remember my exact entry price. Let's just say if I'm giving it to this low, that I've got, 30 cents of risk. If my 30 cents of risk turns into a $22 move, and I'm able to ride that in the entire time and maximize my reward, again, that is a win-win situation. Either I make money or I make a lot of money. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put myself in those positions consistently over time. And this market's been great for that. And if I give back profit and I get stopped out of things, so what? I only made a little bit of money. That probably happened. It's probably way more likely that Lennar comes down and stops me out than it goes to $100 and I'm able to run it all the way up. But again, win-win scenario. That's what I'm consistently trying to do as a trader. So, here we are looking at the SPYs again. Here we are looking at the Qs. Have a little bit of an Apple position from, this 104 still on this area, which I'm really happy about. Have some Microsoft that I added, back down in this area as well. And I'm just sitting on these positions and I'm seeing how well they play out. I do not have a lot of conviction in the market in this area, up, down, or sideways. I need more technical evidence. And then I can adjust my technical thesis to the evidence as the market provides it to me. But right now, when I don't have it, just focusing on some of these names that are in play, and that's not even all of them. There were several other ones out there that I know a couple members of my team got involved in that they were able to make money in also. So again, just to take a step back before we move away from our charts today and just talk about a couple of the themes that anyone who is listening to the webinar today can learn from. First of all, strategy, right? Big picture strategy. How am I planning on positioning myself in the market today and why? Do I have a strong advantage today? In which case I should be active and aggressive. Or do I not have a strong advantage? In which case I should be a little bit more passive and hands-off with my approach and focus on names that are in play as opposed to market correlated names. So, the theme there of big picture game planning, and then learning to be able to focus on other names or something, really worth focusing on. So cool. I hope everyone learned something from today. I'm going to talk a little bit about T3 and I'm going to talk a little bit about proprietary trading right now. Again, my email address was in the beginning. My email address is going to be at the end. If anyone wants to talk to me about becoming part of my team, there's several ways in which you can do that. Part of my trading team, participating in this morning meeting every day where I lay out my big picture strategy to everyone on a day-to-day basis. There's multiple ways you can do that. You can become a professional proprietary trader with T3. I'm about to talk about that. And you'll get free access to my T3 Live Pro Desk VTF room. You can open up a retail account with T3 and you'll get free access to my Pro Desk VTF room. Or you can purchase a monthly subscription to the Pro Desk VTF room, the same way that you can purchase subscriptions to, Scott Redler's Virtual Trading Floor or Mark Melnick's or Sammy's or any of our other excellent contributors that are working over on the T3 Live team. So, so a little bit about proprietary trading with T3. T3 Trading Group is one of the largest proprietary trading firms in the United States. We have well over 50 licensed professional trading accounts at the company. We have multiple offices. Right now they're all closed. Our headquarter office is downtown Manhattan. That's where I work out of that office myself. Used to city bike to the office every day. Haven't done that really since probably January or February, just because, again, I've been out of the city because of the virus situation. Even before the virus hit, I think probably like 60% plus of our traders were remote traders to begin with. So we already have all of the infrastructure in place for us to have great communication in the virtual trading floor and for everyone to be set up to be a remote trader. I'm hoping that those offices get open at some point soon, but honestly, I'm hoping that the offices don't open until after ski season, because I want to stay out west for all of ski season. I'm a huge skier, but that is a different story. Anybody wants to talk to me about skiing, you can send me an email and we'll set up a call. Anyway, in order to be a professional trader, you have to be professionally licensed. T3 is a registered SEC broker-dealer and member of FINRA SIPC, so all of our traders have to pass the SIE and Series 57 exams. That's the SIE, Security Industry Essentials, and Series 57, which is the Professional Proprietary Traders exam. T3 will sponsor you for the exams, will provide you with study materials as well through STC. You get textbook, online classes, online practice tests, everything you need to pass the test. You also do have to pass a background check in order to join T3. So, it's an FBI background check, I believe. You cannot be a felon and join the company. You cannot have declared bankruptcy within the last 2 years and join the company on the prop side, as an example. Moving on. Once those exams are passed, we can start with training and trading and all that other good stuff. We have 3 different trading software options for our traders: Lightspeed, Sterling Trader Pro, and Wolverine or WEX. The one that I use personally is Lightspeed. It's an excellent software. Typically what we do is we start by allocating you a demo account for a week or 2 just so you can get used to the software before we switch you over to the live account. I would have a member on my team give you a full tutorial of it. I am an equities trader with T3. I don't personally trade options with the firm, but we do have options trading as well. We also have futures trading as well, and options on futures. Futures is a little bit of a different group here at the firm, but if you have interest in any of those asset classes, reach out to me and I can provide you an introduction or set you up with the right person to introduce you to that asset class here at T3. I've got people of all different experience levels that I have the pleasure of working with on a day-to-day basis. Some of these guys have been professional traders in one form or another for decades, former floor traders, former pit traders, and other of them are relatively recent university graduates who are just getting their career started for the first time. If you are new to the business, we have a lot to provide you as far as training and mentorship and development goes. There's a 1-month training program that all of my incoming traders get access to. It's obviously free. There's the daily morning meeting, the daily afternoon meeting, the virtual trading floor. Every single one of my afternoon meetings ends in a Q&A, by the way. Every single one of them. I will stay here all night answering the questions of my traders if I have to, if that's going to lead to them becoming more successful. And working with such a diverse group of traders in terms of experience levels, I let everyone know there is no question for the afternoon meeting that is too beginner or too advanced. If it's a very beginner question, it's a great opportunity for my experienced traders to review their fundamentals, which is always important, believe me. My whole trading approach really goes down to understanding a few key fundamental elements of the market. And it's always worth it to review that, and it's a great way for new traders to learn. If an experienced trader asks a very advanced question, well, that's great too. We can tackle that also. And maybe the newer trader, when they're trying to follow along with that more advanced question, they don't understand it all perfectly, but that's fine. Because we're beginning to plant the seeds of development into that new trader's brain, because we want to get them to that point at some time in the future where they are understanding or maybe even re-asking that experienced trader question. So you're not going to go it alone if you're working with us. We do require capital contribution in order to trade professionally with us. That's going to go to back your initial trading risk. Typically what we do is we start by providing buying power at about 20 times your contribution for day trading and 8 times your contribution for overnight positions. So someone who comes into the firm with $50,000 as an example, we basically would start by allocating them $1 million to work with, and then you'd be compensated through a profit split. We can get into all the details of those numbers on an individual basis if anybody wants to contact me. Again, all of the education that I offer to the traders that I work with is for free if you have an account with us. My only goal is to make the people that I'm working with as successful as possible. Again, here's my email address. If you're an experienced trader, we're also a great place to work. I believe that T3 is the largest, or definitely one of the largest proprietary trading companies in the country. We are very well capitalized. If you're an experienced trader and you want to join the company with a couple $1 million because you want access to $40 million, it's probably not a problem. Reach out to me and we can discuss the details. That capital access that we are able to provide that can add scale to an experienced, successful trader is a huge advantage that T3 has, and it's a specific reason why a lot of experienced traders will come directly to us. And you get all this awesome stuff also for free, right? The Pro Desk virtual trading floor room that I was talking about when I'm doing my morning and afternoon meeting, access to my training program, access to Scott Redler's virtual trading floor room, the Redler All Access. You will get access to all of that for free, once again, just by having an account with us. So if you're trading in any way, it seems like a no-brainer to me. I don't know why you would trade anywhere else where you're probably going it on your own when you could be with us as a professional trader or as a retail trader, have direct market access, and work with a group of like-minded individuals who are all working together and helping each other to succeed. It's an excellent environment. So like I said, reach out. You want to reach out about skiing? Reach out. I love to ski. I can't wait for ski season to start. The mountains around me here in Victor got a little bit of snow on the top of them last weekend. It's been really cold here at night. That got me very excited. Very excited. I'm going to be in South Lake Tahoe for November, December, and the beginning of January. Skiing right near Heavenly and Kirkwood. You want to email me about skiing, go ahead. But more importantly, you want to email me about trading, go ahead. You want to email me about becoming a professional trader with T3, there it is. Retail trader with T3, retail trading accounts, right? You have to meet the pattern day trading rule. But besides that, it's awesome with direct market access and, again, access to myself and my team. Reach out. Or you're just interested in, T3 Live product, just purchasing a subscription to the VTF room that I run. Reach out. I can set you up with the right person at T3 Live to provide you that information as well. All right. I see that there's a question here. Do you hire people all over the world? Unfortunately, you have to be a U.S. resident and have U.S. work authorization in order to become a member of T3 Trading Group. You could still purchase a T3 Live subscription to the virtual trading floor like I was talking about if you are working with a different broker who is able to work with people who are international. So happy to answer that question. All right, everyone. It was about a 40-minute meeting today. Really glad that everybody was able to join me. Really hope that everybody learned something today. Again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm going to get back to my trading. I've got a bunch of positions on. I see a few orders and names that I'm involved in got filled while we were talking. So I really want to get back to that, managing my team. Have a great day. Have a great week. Trade smart, everyone. And like always, what I always tell my team at the end of every morning meeting, I'm going to tell all of you the same thing. Above all, manage your risk. It is the key to this business. That is all. All right, everybody. Have a great day.